Welcome to the Brits Network. Today on the desk, we have the Lego Icons Chevrolet Camaro. And this is the Z28 model from 1969. This is set number 10304. It was officially released on August 1st, 2022, and retired on December 31st, 2024. It contains 1,456 pieces, and when it was released, it had a retail price of $169.99. 169 euros 99 cents, 149 pounds 99 cents. That comes out to about 11.7 cents per piece, and it's age rated for 18 plus. So let's go ahead and dive into the review. So first and foremost, I enjoyed building this vehicle. It went together quite nicely. There weren't any tricks. A really smooth building experience. The other thing that I really liked about it is that it gave you a ton of options. But before I get to those options, let's talk about some of the functionality of this vehicle. You have the hood that opens here. Doesn't open very much, but you do have that 302 engine in there, that V8. The doors open. You see inside the cockpit there. And then also the steering wheel works. All right. Swing it around to the back. The trunk does work as well. And then lastly, the passenger door. So technically, I'm going to remove the top, but it doesn't technically come off. You have two options to build. You can either build the coupe version of this Camaro, or you can actually build the convertible version. I chose to build the coupe. I'm just more of a coupe person, but at some point when I guess I get tired of looking at it, I will change it to the convertible one. But there is a way to kind of pop this off. I'm sure I'm going to break a couple pieces, but I just want to show you guys the interior with a bit more detail. All right. So you have this steering wheel that actually works. For me, it's a little large. From a scale perspective, it's quite, I don't know, it's quite big. It should have been a little bit smaller, I think, but you know, it is what it is. You do have the rear seats. And then there is a magazine in the back here. It says Model Team Magazine, Hot Rod, and yeah, I mean, it's kind of hard to see, but I'll zoom in and put a picture in there. It does have a manual gearbox, and the doors have a pretty cool hinge. So when I open this up, it has this lever in here. There, and that supports the door. Yeah. So it's quite nice. Yeah. Now I'll turn over to the undercarriage so you can see the chassis. As you can see, it contains quite a bit of Technic pieces. I was surprised because I've been building quite a bit of Technic vehicles, but when building this Icons vehicle, I thought it'd be more bricks, but the chassis itself is built off of Technics, which I thought was very interesting. Well, Here you can see the actual width of the tires. They're actually quite narrow. Yeah. And then in the front here, you can see the headlights, the front grille. There's a splitter down here. And then it's kind of hard to see with the light, but if I turn it over, you can see the fog lights there. Yeah. Turn it over to the rear. So you have the tail lights, you have that Z28 badge, you have the dual exhaust, and then you actually have a choice of 2 license plates. So you have the Chevy 69 license plate, or you have this license plate here. So it's Panther. Now, I didn't know this, but the instruction booklet of the Lego set actually details how this Camaro was actually codenamed Panther during its development phase, which was a pretty cool detail. They had a lot of, I guess, historical notes throughout this instruction booklet that were pretty cool. So it's definitely worth the read. And a little detail of the trunk space. You do have a couple printed pieces, but majority of the things that you see are actually stickers. So sticker. There is a printed piece in there. And if you can see here, there is a little printed piece there. Oh yes, so I just remembered the other printed pieces. These tail lights. These tail lights that have little stripes that go through, they are actually printed. Okay, the dash itself are stickers. That's a sticker. The Z28 Camaro is a sticker. That's a sticker. Camaro sticker. These license plates are actually stickers as well. So I'll go ahead and stick this back on, and then we'll talk about a little bit more of the details. All right, snap that back in place. Okay, so as I mentioned, you do have quite a bit of options. The first option that I'll detail is the headlights. You have optional headlights. You can use these instead of the headlights, which is indicative of the actual vehicle, the Chevy Camaro. You do have options to change these racing stripes. Me, a black vehicle should only have white racing stripes. But that's just my personal opinion. However, the instruction booklet actually wants you to build it in gray. Now you have a bunch of extra Lego pieces that come with this set to help you build the various options for this vehicle. Let's see, you can see the bag there. So you can have these burgundy racing stripes, or the dark red, or the gray ones. As I mentioned, the instruction booklet wants you to build with the gray. And you have the option to build this as a convertible. And that's what all these additional burgundy or dark red pieces are, to help you build that convertible option. It does come with very limited stickers, 17 total, but no matter which option you build, if you decide to build the coupe, you'll always have one sticker left over. So the coupe actually has a smaller rearview mirror, but if you build a convertible, you have to use this rearview mirror, and I believe this is sticker 6 versus sticker 7. So it's slightly bigger, but if you build either one, remember that you will actually have one sticker left over. But just something to note. Now let's see how it stacks up to the other Icons vehicles that I've actually built. Let me roll this in from the side. So this is the Lamborghini Countach. All right. As you can see, it's quite a bit wider than the Camaro. And the details are a little bit different. Oh, now that roof is popping off. Now comparing the two, because I'm more of a Lamborghini guy, I saw some really cool design features in here in this Lamborghini that I enjoyed a little bit more in the building process. And that were these scissor doors. And there's an actual rubber band. It's kind of hard to see. Yeah, but take my word on it. There's a rubber band in that hinge. And I'll see if I can snap a picture of it and put it in the video here. But there's a rubber band in that hinge that helps with the smoothness of that action and the locking of that door. Push that out of the way. Now I have a few other icon vehicles. I have the Ford Mustang. I also have the Chevrolet Corvette. And then I have the Porsche 911. I can't wait to build all these things because these things are really, really nice. And they have quite a bit of heft to them. So let's get to the couple of things that I don't like. First and foremost, these side view mirrors. They're like little popsicles, but the slightest thing, these things just pop off. So they're a bit annoying. I'm sure I'm going to end up losing one. Second thing is this steering wheel. Let me see if I can pop this off again without doing too much damage. Look at the size of this steering wheel compared to the rest of the carpet. It is quite huge. And I don't know if it's a true scale, but you know, just something to note. It just kind of feels out of place. And yeah, let me slide it over a little bit. Maybe it's not, still not quite centered, but hey, it is what it is. Right. Other than that, those were the only two knocks I had on it. I like the wheels. They are a true representation of the period. The fact that it has functional steering is really good. And the colors and the options. This thing is amazing. You can build virtually 5 or 6 different variations. You have the white stripes, racing stripes. You have the red racing stripes. You have the gray racing stripes. You can make it in convertible, and then the racing stripes with the convertibles too. So you have a lot of options. And so I think from a playability standpoint, folks will be able to enjoy this and change it up and not get tired of it for quite some time, which is always a plus when building these Lego sets. Yeah. So there you have it, the review of the 1969 Z28 Chevrolet Camaro. If you guys have any questions, please let me know. If you guys enjoy this content, please hit that thumbs up button and consider subscribing. And if you can leave a comment as well, that'll also help out. I'm trying to reach 1,000 subscribers by the next couple months because I want to do this full time, and I have roughly 400 sets that I've accumulated and collected over the years that I want to build. And I'm just enjoyed this. I just enjoyed this a lot, and I want to continue on with my journey. Yeah. All right, guys. Once again, thank you, and I'll see you guys in the next one. Peace.